Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to look at, okay, we're all getting older. But there's now newer treatments for reversing sun damage and aging with virtually no downtime. Dr. Robert Langdon is the medical director of the Langdon Center for Laser and Cosmetic Surgery in Guilford and joins me now. Welcome back, Dr. Langdon. It's always wonderful to have you here with us.
Thanks.
Now, what kind of damage are we talking about here?
We are talking mainly about sun damage. And as I always mention in my seminars and also discuss in my book, Understanding Cosmetic Laser Surgery, there's certain major causes of aging. And when it comes to the face, sun damage is a major one because that is affecting the surface, the skin, the color of the skin, as well as the texture.
So when you say sun damage, are you talking about those brown spots? What exactly are you referring to?
Brown spots are part of it. A lot of it is a color problem. So, you know, young children, they have skin that is quite even and homogeneous. As people get older, if they have a lot of sun exposure, they start getting age spots, which are brown spots, and they also get dilated blood vessels. So you have brown color problems and you have red color problems from sun damage. In addition, of course, you get wrinkles, which is the main texture problem.
Absolutely. That's the one thing we don't like, see those wrinkles. All right, we're talking about brightening and tightening the skin. Can this really, really improve those imperfections?
Yeah, what we're talking about today are some of the types of treatments that would be described as non-invasive, very low impact treatments. We talk a lot about, you know, surgeries that we do, whether it's liposuction or facelift. And not everyone has the time or inclination to go through a procedure like that. And it turns out we can actually do quite a lot with these very mild treatments. They have to be done usually in a sequence. You know, one treatment won't do it all. But over a series of treatments, it can be pretty significant.
Well, let's talk about some of those treatments. First of all, we're broadband light, which you offer.
Yes, we have, we have a lot of lasers. We have a dozen or more. And a laser is basically a light source. So what's coming out of the laser are actually photons of light. And the laser is very, very bright, as we know. And one characteristic of a laser is that it's a specific wavelength, usually down to the nanometer. And then we have the concept of broadband light, which is also very intense light. But it's not one specific wavelength. It's actually a range. The intense pulse light is another term for that. We have a newer version called the broadband light, and that is mainly visible light, but it's the entire spectrum of visible light.
So basically it restores some of that damage?
Yeah, the color problems in the skin, whether they're brown spots or red blood vessels, have the ability to absorb photons of light of specific wavelengths, and we can filter the light so we can concentrate on the problem at hand.
We have two pictures that you want to share with us. Let's take a look at this one. The two of them are right there. And so the first picture is the before picture.
Yeah, this is a patient who has a lot of brown spots, and some people get a lot of these. They are removed by specific wavelengths of light that we use, that we can get from the broadband light. We actually use a filter to get the optimal wavelength.
Now, how many visits did she have to make before she had that actual after picture?
This photo was only one treatment. And you can get quite dramatic results with relatively few treatments, at least for the real intense colored problems. Whether, you know, if the brown spots are quite dark, that's actually better. You'll see a bigger impact.
Bigger difference, exactly. Let's take a look at the second picture.
This is a patient that has a lot of dilated blood vessels, and this is a part of the aging process due to sun damage. We also see people with rosacea, which is a condition that causes them to have a great tendency to have dilation of blood vessels, many of which will become permanently dilated. And these are also very amenable to treatment with the broadband light. We would use actually a different range, a different spectrum of wavelength of the light to help this problem.
That's amazing, that before and after. All right, our second treatment is SkinTyte. It's an infrared light source.
Yeah, so
how does this work?
We've talked mainly so far about visible light, and if you go beyond the visible range, you get into the infrared wavelengths. So infrared light is actually invisible. It's still considered light, but the wavelengths of that nature actually have an effect of causing heating of the skin. And if the skin is heated to the right degree, you actually will get a contraction of the skin or a tightening effect.
Really? All right. Let's take a look at the photos you brought along for this one, the before and then the after.
Yeah, so here we're talking about, this is what we mean by tightening. And this is an effect, it won't achieve, for example, what a facelift would do. But you can, with the right type of skin, if there's a lot of looseness, we see the best results probably in the neck. You can get an actual visible improvement. And this can also be done usually over a series of treatments. It's kept below the threshold where there's much sensitivity.
Now, how many visits did this woman have to make to achieve that success?
This result here was also only one treatment.
That's amazing. It really is. And so after that first treatment, then the difference gets smaller and smaller, I would assume?
Yeah, and the other thing is that not everyone responds in one treatment. We tend to do a sequence where, you know, gradually people can go to higher energy levels. We try to keep it below the level where it's uncomfortable. But the other thing is a lot of that result, even though you can see quite often an immediate improvement, the true result can take several months to fully become evident.
Now, you have a seminar coming up, and that is on Thursday, March 24th. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is one of our seminars that we have pretty much every month, but in this case we're going to focus on the face and also on this concept of brightening and tightening with these non-invasive treatments.
Of course, you have to respond, let Dr. Landon know that you're coming. What is that number? 2086, I'm sorry, I can barely see that. 866-967-3855. So give Dr. Landon a call if you want to talk more about this. And of course, use that sunscreen, right?
Right, yeah, you want to prevent this as much as possible.
Exactly. All right. Thank